It's Nolan.
Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show.
Yeah. Y'all must have forgot I'm on my Roy Jones. Flow terminally ill, talking full blown. The Ghost Rider, I wrote the script to your tombstone. Kill your favorite rappers at tandems, call it a group home. I've been keeping it discreet, but this shit ain't sweet. Once I hit my motor, start to reach, niggas shit they breach. I got songs in like 200 shows, what I gotta lead. Pull a nigga name up on the sheet and it's bon appetit. Fucking with the wrong one, I hope you got a strong gun. Every verse I'm going on them, they call me the Shogun. Pull a beat, 15 minutes, bet I get this song done. I can't trust a rap nigga that's stepping with his toes done. Fuck him out. Shout the Lord done it all. I'm Barry Sanders. I'm juking niggas from the coin toss. I'ma run the ball. That's 6 points. I get the money off the ripple when my pinpoints. Pinpoint precision. Envision me on my rich boy. D's on the bit. Trigger finger if it's itchy. I might squeeze on the flip. Bullets coming with a name. Let you bleed on the tip. Put a nigga in the box. Then I'm fleeing on the trip. I'm too king for me to slip. I want Parmesan. I Parmesan. I walk in the alarm's on. I'm barking like a dog. And now your bones are what I'm chomping on. Sun down, bitch. I'm back to bending like it's Ramadan. Yo, 15 minutes was borrowed, it's like a calling card. No mean to ramble, this shit is like a free sample. I'm here to make an example, these appetizers ain't ample enough. Fire like a candle, I'm up. Right from the panel, I jump back in this shit, entertaining y'all on my channel. I'm the main event. Learn to use my voice so I could pay the rent. Nigga talking shit behind the phone that they ain't pay to get. Drop and give me 50, nigga. I get on my trainer shit. I don't do no freestyle. Tell me I get paid to spit.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody is doing well out there. In this particular video, we're going to be getting into Drake and OVO Chubbs responding back to T-Pain. Now, y'all know a couple days ago, I talked about that whole T-Pain speaking on Drake, talking about bowing out gracefully from music, and I even tried to contextualize it in a way to where I don't believe that T-Pain is necessarily trying to tell Drake to retire, because, I mean, T-Pain was out before Drake, and he ain't retired yet. He's just now about to lay to rest. I think he's about to do his final tour or something like that. But contextually, I think he was just speaking on, not trying to be the guy, not trying to pander to the young crowd, and just letting it be known, like, all right, I am getting up there. I'm growing. I'm evolving. And I'm going to give you guys a more mature version of music or of my music until I actually leave. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to be the guy until your last breath. And he said that that was something that Drake initially told him early in the game, was that he did not want to be that person that gets kicked out of the game rather than leaving or bowing out gracefully and having an outline on how to get out of it. Okay. Now, what I have not spoken on was Drake pretty much immediately responded to it. And basically he did what most I guess you could say unevolved or childish type of people. He basically looked at it like hate rather than just accepting, maybe he has a point. I don't know. Maybe he shouldn't even spoke on it at all. That's what I would have advised to him. But Drake responded and he says, "This guy always had resentment for me. You can hear it every time he speaks on my name." Okay. So Drake pretty much believes that T-Pain has always been a hater. He's always had a problem with him, and he's always been holding this in, and he finally gets to say it out in public freely with no consequence because Drake is soiled jeans right now. Nobody wants to wear soiled jeans. You feel me? Nobody really wants to stand next to him all that close other than the rappers in Atlanta who keep going up for him, right? When this thing broke through, not only did Drake respond to it, but we also had Offset come out and respond to it, which I thought was very interesting because we haven't seen Drake and Offset next to each other since the last Migos collaboration with Drake. It's been a while. But nonetheless, here's what he had to say. So he comes out and defends Drake on Instagram, and he says, "The boy is the boy. Shit ain't gonna change. All that hating on another grown man who do more numbers than everybody is diabolical." Okay? And I must say, the usage of diabolical as common slang needs to be scaled back at least 50%. At least 50. Because ain't nothing diabolical about what T-Pain actually said. Okay? Now, what I believe diabolical to believe was more so on some evil, villainous type stuff, not on some recognizing the elephant in the room type stuff. You know what I mean? Or even in some of the way that we use it in just regular conversation. Everything is diabolical. You know what I mean? It really don't be diabolical. Some niggas is just assholes. Some niggas is just bitch made. Like, everything ain't fucking diabolical. Then he misspelled it. Anyway, that's Offset. Goddamn, Set. Offset. Spell check your shit, nigga. Goddamn. Diabolical? Diabolical? What the hell? Now, some people might believe that Offset only really came out to defend Drake because he's trying to find somebody new to latch on to. He no longer has Cardi B, and they believe he's going to latch on to Drake. He comes out and says his celebrity crush is what, Sabrina Carpenter or some shit like that. Never saw that on my bingo card. But all of these things have been said within the last week or so. So maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe he's just engagement farming to keep his name in the conversation. But whatever it is, he came out and spoke to the nature of T-Pain's comments about Drake. And he says T-Pain is diabolical. Okay? Just reporting. Now, in the new update, we have OVO Chubbs, okay, who got massively dissed on Euphoria and still hasn't crashed something. Not necessarily that I want to see him do anything violent. But it is very interesting that a head of security and somebody who's supposedly known to be this menacing figure has only spoken in internet trolling terms for the last year. So he comes out, I guess he was at some sort of house party. I wouldn't be surprised if it was in Drake's house, more specifically, because where else would he be? You don't really see Chubbs anywhere on his own account, do you? And he was basically trolling, telling a DJ to play T-Pain, and he was trying to make it seem as if this DJ, supposedly, whoever that is, maybe it was that what's homeboy name that was trying to go at Mustard? Gordo. Maybe it was Gordo. You know, the nigga that had the motherfucking DJ set up in the bathroom and shit. But let's go ahead and roll the clip of Chubbs allegedly trying to make a request in the DJ booth for some T-Pain.
Yo, play T-Pain song for me. T-Pain. T-Pain. Who's controlling the music? The DJ, hold on. T-Pain. T-Pain. T-Pain.
Okay, so that's him speaking allegedly to a DJ saying, hey, and then can we get some T-Pain next? He then ats T-Pain and says, I tried, bro. Next spot, they got you. Okay, so he's saying, clearly T-Pain wants some airplay. T-Pain wants to get some spins out here. I don't think T-Pain has any shortage of spins. Maybe not on top 40 radio. Maybe not on your everyday hip hop stations that just play the new stuff. But T-Pain is getting plenty of airplay on Sirius XM. He's getting plenty of play on those classic radio stations throughout the cities of America. And he has a fruitful tour that he's embarking on, So I don't think T-Pain is lacking any money or notoriety. He's still T-Pain, and he makes a good living. He has a fan base on Twitch that pays him anytime he streams. He's been streaming for many years. And of course, for anybody that wants to jump out there and say, well, how is it that T-Pain gets to stream on Twitch and you criticize other artists for becoming streamers. That's because T-Pain is actually a part of the streaming community. He's been streaming on Twitch probably for 10 years. Maybe longer than that. He actually played video games on Twitch when that was the primary purpose of Twitch, because he's a gamer. And through his interest in gaming, he started creating music for games. And they fucking paid him handsomely to do it. And he doubled and tripled down on that audience by allowing them into his studio creation process. So now, when he's at his shows, they stream backstage, him and his wife having a good time with his fans. They stream before the show, after the show. He makes new music. He streams. They tune in. They ask for the songs to come out. Now, if other artists want to pull from the T-Pain blueprint and do what it is that he's been doing, perhaps it'll be entertaining. But a lot of these people want to get on motherfucking stream and eat fucking collard greens and chicken and talk to their friends about nothing. No, that's not going to register into a successful streaming career. Okay? Context, people. Let's think. Let's use it. Let's use it. But yes, man. T-Pain has a very sizable estate here in Atlanta. He's not missing no meals. And he spends good amounts of money in Guitar Center whenever the fuck he feels like it, all right? So, ask me how I know. My homeboy used to work for him, okay? Anyway, let's move on. So, on the heels of Chubbs coming out and playing on T-Pain's head top and acting like he's requesting his music at a party, we have Chris Brown coming out and extending some flowers for T-Pain. All right, so this is a change of tone here. So Chris Brown of the moment came out and said this. He said, "Random thought. T-Pain is one of the GOATs of my generation. Giving you your flowers, pioneer. Love you, my brother." And that was yesterday, okay? So in the midst of Drake and OVO shitting on T-Pain, trying to play with T-Pain, Chris Brown has a random thought and says, this nigga one of the OGs, he's one of the greats. Quit playing with that man name. And if you go back and, go back into the history books, Chris and T-Pain had really good chemistry at one point in the game. And they had some hits together, and they definitely was doing some motherfucking neck popping and all that shit. I can't do that shit, but you know that shit they was doing with the motherfucking neck banging and pop locking and all that good shit. So, it's very interesting for Chris to take that play. He's been bumping Not Like Us for a year straight, everywhere he goes, dancing, singing along. That nigga CB been out here like LeBron James every time Not Like Us play, man. Them niggas got extra energy when that motherfucker play. That's something I have noticed. I don't even keep up with Breezy, and I hardly talk about him on my channel. But that's what he had to say in a very timely fashion. Now, I'm gonna shift gears here, and I see some discourse and conversation going on around online about the title of Drake's upcoming album, Iceman, right? I didn't know what Iceman was supposed to be referring to. Of course, we know Iceman is a Marvel character. Anybody who read X-Men growing up or, played the fucking Marvel vs. Capcom, of course you know about the fucking Iceman. If you watched X-Men, if you watched, if you've engaged with Marvel in any form or fashion, you would know Iceman at some point. I wasn't sure if he was necessarily trying to liken himself to that character or if it was just like on some Omarion Icebox Where My Heart Used to Be type of shit. Maul came out recently and basically said that it had something to do with him being a little bit more standoffish, less trustworthy, not so warm towards people these days. But I've been seeing some people that are speaking to the nature of this Iceman thing, and they're saying that Drake has once again made a mistake by likening himself to some things maybe he didn't expect to be revealed. All right. So I'm going to pull up an article. And this article is from about a decade ago where they revealed that Marvel's Iceman is actually gay. Now, if, I'm not saying Drake is gay. I'm just going to keep that here front and center because I don't need that type of attention on my channel for nobody to be trying to run with a narrative that J Nolan said Drake is gay. I don't know that to be true. I would never say such a thing without proof. I don't speak on people's sexuality all that much without them speaking on it first. But this is the chatter, and I do report what the chatter is. So here it says Marvel's Iceman just came out as gay. Okay? For the past 52 years, Iceman has been a stalwart member of the X-Men. And for all those years, he's been living in a closet. This is what they say on Vox. Iceman, a.k.a. Bobby Drake. There's another layer there. Aubrey Drake Graham, Bobby Drake, is one of the team's powerhouses. The X-Men count on him. His sense of humor has made him a major fan favorite, and on Wednesday, November 4th, he came out as a gay man in the pages of Uncanny X-Men number 600, a follow-up to last April's reveal that a younger version of the character was gay. More on this in a bit. This editorial move makes one of Marvel's most iconic and high-profile heroes as a gay man, a testament to the company's ongoing mission to include more diversity and make sure its comic book reflects the real world. But Iceman's coming out is also an homage to the X-Men's legacy. The X-Men story has always and will always be imbued with the fight for civil rights. Iceman's sexuality and where he goes from here is just the latest chapter. And I really don't care about this. I'm not emotionally attached to Iceman or any X-Men character for that matter outside of Wolverine or Storm. But for the most part, shout out to all of them. And whether or not he's gay, I mean, who cares, right? I know it may make some people uncomfortable reading the books, but get over it. Iceman's coming out is actually the end of a complicated story and the end of writer Brian Michael Bendis' run on the X-Men. Bendis has long been one of Marvel's top writers. He created Jessica Jones, who makes her Netflix debut later this month. Remember, this article was made in 2015. And in 2012, introduced the idea of bringing the original X-Men, Beast, Iceman, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Angel back to the present day. Thanks to the power of time travel, there are now 2 Beasts, 2 Cyclopses, 2 Icemen, 2 Angels, and 1 Jean Grey. It makes for weird interactions because the younger versions of these original X-Men are often at odds with their older selves. One of the conflicts younger Iceman faces is that he's gay, while the older version of himself isn't. Okay, so the recreated new version is living in a new world, a 2015 world where, he's gay. But the old Iceman is living like, hey, bruh, what the fuck is this? Who is this nigga? You know what I'm saying? In all new X-Men number 40, we found out by way of telepathy that the younger Iceman is a gay man. This leads to confusion between because his older self is dating Kitty Pryde, a female teammate. With younger Iceman being gay, older Iceman dating women, and Jean Grey calling it a unique situation. There was a question of whether the X-Men would ultimately get into the nature versus nurture debate, a story that could get really messy. But Bendis' plot turned out to be a lot simpler than that. It's not even the thrust of the issue. Rather, it's a small B-plot within a larger tale about an X-Men intervention with Beast. In Uncanny X-Men number 600, younger Iceman confronts his older self and asks him about his sexual orientation. This is a man in the mirror moment. What we find out is that Iceman has been living in the closet for his entire life and just shut that part of himself off to the world and to his teammates. So I guess younger him comes to him and makes a great reveal that he's always been this person. There's no nature versus nurture situation, no time traveling hitch. Older Iceman just didn't want to be persecuted and judged for another part of his life. Okay? So, not only does this sound like Diddy, but now we have Drake taking on the name. His coming out is as touching as it is quirky and awkward. Jean Grey, a mind reader, is on the scene to provide a play-by-play and fill in the gaps. There's also a play on Iceman's power. As you can see, his coming out affect how his ice manipulating powers work, and in the end, what's supposed to be this monumental moment is treated in a really funny, casual way. Bendis makes Iceman's sexuality, to his fellow characters at least, no big deal, and ends with a funny joke. As we grow more tolerant of one another and see LGBTQ people as equals, coming out gets easier. Coming out today is a lot different from coming out 52 years ago. Perhaps we'll all get to the point, some people may already be there, where coming out becomes a quip about hot boys and hot girls. That's Bendis humor and idealism shining through. Okay? Now, I think we've read enough here. Now, there's also another deeper reference. Shout out to Chillin' with Moni, because that's who I saw mention it. There's also a mob crime boss that went by the name Iceman. I wasn't aware of this either. I've heard of this Kuklinski person, but I never heard them in the context of the Iceman. But I'm going to go ahead and pull it up for y'all just so y'all can get further context on where Drake might be going. It could be related to the Marvel character, but I'm sure he probably had in mind this piece. So here we have Richard Kuklinski, all right? And he's also known by his nickname, the Iceman. And if you're a basketball fan, it could be George Gervin, but Drake ain't like that on the court. Anyway, was an American criminal and a leader of a New Jersey-based burglary ring. He engaged in criminal activities for most of his adult life that began when he distributed pirated pornography. Now, ain't that about a bitch? You go from one situation to the next. You either identifying with a gay Marvel character, which is nothing, hey, do your thing, or you identifying with a fucking creep. Anyway, and eventually escalated to at least 5 murders committed between 1980 and 1984 for personal profit. His nickname derives from him freezing the body of one of his victims in an attempt to disguise the time of death. At the time of his crimes, Kuklinski lived with his wife and children in the New Jersey suburb of Dumont. His family stated that they were unaware of his crimes. Kuklinski's modus operandi was to lure men, what the fuck, to clandestine meetings with the promise of lucrative business deals, then kill them and steal their money. And we've heard of Drake allegedly stealing money. What the fuck? Bro, are you fucking... What? He also killed 2 associates to prevent them from becoming informants. And if you want to look further into Triple X, there's people that believe in that too. Eventually, Kuklinski came to the attention of law enforcement when an investigation into his burglary gang linked him to several murders, since he was the last person to have seen 5 missing men alive. An 18-month-long undercover operation led to his arrest in December 1986. In 1988, he was convicted of 4 murders and sentenced to life imprisonment. In 2003, Kuklinski received an additional 30-year sentence after confessing to the 1980 murder of an NYPD detective. After his murder convictions, Kuklinski gave interviews to writers, prosecutors, criminologists, and psychiatrists. He claimed to have murdered anywhere from 100 to goddamn to 200 men, often in gruesome fashion. This nigga's a serial killer. None of these additional murders have been corroborated. In 2020, ATF Special Agent Dominic Polifrone said, "I don't believe he killed 200 people. Oh, and he got cap on his rap. Ain't that about a bitch?" He said, "I don't believe he killed 100 people. I'll go as high as 15 maybe. Hey, you knock off 15, you still deserve a cereal box, okay? And I ain't talking about a cereal box with Wheaties. I'm just saying, cereal." Kuklinski also claimed to have worked as a hitman for the mafia. He said he participated in several famous mafia killings, including the disappearance and presumed murder of Teamsters president Jimmy Hoffa. So now he claiming Jimmy Hoffa's body. Law enforcement and organized crime experts have expressed skepticism about Kuklinski's claimed mafia ties. He was the subject of 3 HBO documentaries aired in 1992, 2001, and 2003. Several biographies, and a 2012 feature film, The Iceman. Now y'all gonna make me have to watch this movie to see what the fuck going on. Cause dude, this ain't the type nigga you wanna be like. For sure. Yeah, you might be better off identifying with the Marvel character than this motherfucker, man. He out here luring niggas. You don't never wanna have no shit like that on your name. You luring niggas. Serial killer. You got cap on your rap on who you done whacked, which people have already claimed that you've been doing. But dawg. Nonetheless, Drake is out here promising that this Iceman album will be available soon in the year of 2025. What I found interesting when he made this post the other day about Iceman is that he signed it not as Drake, but AG the Sixer. Which makes me wonder if that's going to be his new moniker. Is he not going to be performing under the name Drake? Is he going to try to pull a Prince and go by AG the Sixer? Does he have documentation in his contract that would allow him to take on a new persona and separate himself from Drake, the artist, and become another artist? I don't know. And musically, if he were to go by AG the Sixer, does that mean that we're going to receive more music like Tumaza? Because if that is the case, sir, I think you should keep it. All right? As a matter of fact, you should burn that hard drive. Burn that hard drive. Burn that shit. If you got more shit like Tumaza on that motherfucker, burn it. And I ain't talking about a CD. But I don't know, just an idea. He signed off as AG the Sixer, not Drake. Iceman 2025. Perhaps he tries to create another website like 100 gigs that UMG will probably just claim and make him put out publicly anyway. Who knows? But we shall see, man. And I know some people ain't gonna like my commentary in this video, but tell homeboy to stop talking. Help him come up with better ideas that would absolve him of being connected with these sorts of situations. And he could probably go about life as peacefully as he possibly could. But I will catch y'all on the next one. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. I'll see y'all later. Peace.
King of my city in cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rags. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some batteries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.